Yesterday, during chess camp, we discussed dream positions. A dream position is imagining, without restraints or even considering the rules of chess, the perfect squares for each of our pieces. In short, a dream position is a position so strong and with so many options, our opponent will have no way to defend our attack. Today during chess camp, we discussed the human element, a little bit about psychology, and even looked at a few scenarios where human beings who are very strong masters choked, made a poor decision, and blew the game. There are many factors that can cause that type of error in judgment. And chess is a great parallel to life. And in my experience during COVID, I took chances. I spent a lot of time alone to understand who I am, what I stand for, what I don't stand for. And I felt I had a dream position that almost no one is enjoying right now because of the uncertain job market, economic strain, etc. And then to keep that dream position, I had to take so much isolation. And with COVID, the lockdown added to the isolation. And that's what union busting is. There's no one better at union busting than Walmart. Union busting is, how can we fuck with this person's brain in as many creative, intentionally specific to the victims, and I hate that word, weaknesses, so that person cracks and is useless and cannot fight back. That way Walmart or any company who union busts maximizes its control. Anyone who is kind in a corporate environment is a weakness to be discarded. Not only is union busting designed to discard weaknesses, it is designed to make an example. Sit outside their house, follow them out to their car, stalk them, harass them. Look at their Facebook. Find out what makes them tick and then exploit it. And then you add on the lockdown factor, similar to the grandmasters who have blundered badly out of character. I snapped at least 3 times. Snapped to the point where if I didn't have Nova, therefore I'm not going to kill myself, I would have driven my car off a bridge. And what happens when a person snaps? The human animal is very complicated, so different things can happen. Fight or flight obviously kicks in when a person snaps and is pushed to the limit. And every person has that limit, even soldiers, the most badass special ops guys. A human being has a limit. Theirs are higher than yours or mine. But there is a limit to where if you push that person, I don't care how Christian they are, how much confidence they have in themselves, their support system, there is a point where each one of us has where you will lose your shit. And there is no getting it back quickly. I don't think any position or mental state is lost forever. But no one is so strong they cannot be broken temporarily. Some people become weak, some people start crying. I started talking to objects to maintain sanity, and more importantly, my decision to try to be constructive during my insanity, and practice my speaking drills, music, etc., to walls, was a great decision because it kept me from hurting myself or jeopardizing my future. But what happened is my demeanor, my nature is not mean. Some people who have a mean nature, who can, lie, cheat on women, be violent, and just not feel it. There are people that have that type of nature. I don't, but I developed that nature, and that's when people become very scary. Because the alternative is to crack, which is not a. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're pushed to the brink and you crack and you turn into a pansy and you just, I'll do whatever anyone wants me to do, and I just need attention, and I need, or you go through a divorce and you're like, it's kind of like the rebound phase. I'll do anything to cure my pain right now. But I kissed my ex-girlfriend's dog Moose goodbye. He was my best friend. My ex-girlfriend was a good person also, and I didn't get to really tell her bye. Sold my house during lockdown. Took union busting tactics during lockdown. Got a sarcastic reply for being an American in tech for working my ass off. Not being treated with respect and being ignored is the quickest way to deprive the human animal of importance, which is what we crave. And I became mean. And some of that I don't think I'll ever resort back to the old me. It's a good thing this didn't happen when I was very young, because then it could have shaped me in a way where I could actually be very dangerous to others, not just myself. That's real shit. But after those experiences, basically to get to the top in corporate America or American politics, you sacrifice other people and make yourself look good. And in my earlier years, just being introverted, I felt like I lost a lot of opportunities or didn't get attention, or at least a chance, whether it be in business, dating, etc. And then being treated that way during the pandemic by Walmart, and not only Walmart, by a manager who had complete control over me, and her boss, his name is Mike Dennis. He's not a talented person. He's a piece of shit. And to see him in pictures with his little boy, and look how perfect daddy is. No, your dad's a snake. And I could have been a snake. I could have been that. I could have had the boat. I had a fucking $260,000 house, and I could afford it easily. And I chose to be a good person and risk it. And I got lucky. And then you get to see their pictures of them being happy. And I don't have a relationship with my mom anymore. Similar to how I mentioned you sacrifice other people to get to the top. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to win. Beat Walmart. Walmart go out of business. Walmart get sanctions. Me make a lot of money through music and get to play chess forever. Date beautiful actresses. That's materialistic? Maybe. That's what I want. And I want girls who say they're nice, girls that care about mental health, who have ignored me when I was hurting, or made assumptions. I want them to suffer. Not in a violent way. I would never hurt a woman. But you don't get a second chance. Beg me for one, and I'll laugh at you. I'll take a picture and send it to your friends. That's how I am now. I've dealt with too much bullshit. But that's where someone might say, Dayton, if your plan is to beat Walmart, whatever that means, beat Walmart. Which, beating Walmart to me would be a statement from their CEO that they will not union bust, and especially considering technology and all the creative ways to be fake and manipulative and torment someone with social media, basically. I want their CEO to make a public statement saying this will never happen again. That's a win for me. Because I have a dream position against arguably the most unethical, corrupt, fake company of all time during the largest mental health or most significant mental health crisis ever with COVID, especially with our young people. And my mom jeopardized my dream position by butting in. I was 26 years old at the time. So one could say, well, Dayton, if you're mean to your mom and you show people you can't control your anger with your own family, isn't that an advantage for Walmart? Like in chess, there are weaknesses and strengths in almost every decision we make. the weaknesses of me completely discarding my mom's feelings, which is what I'm doing, is it hurts my mom, and my mom's a good person. Also, there's a risk that people will see me as unstable, and therefore use that to discredit my claims and ideas on mental health. But the advantage of sacrificing my mom, that's what I'm doing, is she's a weakness that talks too much. She wants to help people, and in this world, that doesn't work anymore. To be a good person in this world, you also have to be mean. But remember why you're being mean. That's the only way. Otherwise, you just get stomped on. You lose opportunities for yourself and your family. If you're a good person that's kind always. So the advantage of sacrificing my mom is, the statement is clear. I mentioned union busting is designed to give that company and its leadership control and options, not commit. Walmart doesn't want to commit to H-1B abuse, which is the real story, because they want business in India. But like most politicians, Doug McMillon, Walmart's CEO, he wants to keep India happy and America happy. Doug McMillon wants to, we support our soldiers. Walmart supports mental health, and we love America. But we also want to save money and get richer by any means necessary. So Doug McMillon also wants to keep India happy so they can get the business in India and get cheap labor and not have to pay Americans what we're worth. Ooh, that's a contradiction, see? And I'm going to push them way farther than they push me. Families' names. If I can find dirt on Doug McMillon, you know I'm throwing it. I don't give a fuck. To make them make a decision, because that's bullshit. If you want to win and get to the top and work hard, and even do some things that are tough, that's fine. But just to not commit, to not have to even like lie about me. Some of the claims I've made, even if you want to do something and twist the truth and get me in legal trouble, you got to do something. That's not a man, that's not a leader. And that's my statement, whether this move is right or wrong. My mom's a weakness. She talked to them. My passion for mental health and confidence in my ideas to help people struggling with mental health, which requires building a platform so I can speak them. My mom has jeopardized that by criticizing me when I started, when I got going. A year into it, my mom has criticized and criticized and criticized and criticized. You can't say that. Bullshit. I can't say that, Mom. I can't. Then she talked to Walmart, because Walmart wants information. Walmart expected me to go to court if I was going to fight at all. That's their game. Incentivize their leaders to fuck people over and always err on the side of the company, because they know they have the best lawyers to clean up the mess. Kind of like if I were to play a strong grandmaster. I'll take a game and I'll play to win. I know, logically I know I'm not even going to beat a candidate master, which is still very impressive. I'm not discounting candidate masters. I'm not going to beat anyone that's really good at chess. But if I were a top level chess athlete playing someone like me, I know what I would want. Play passive. Play scared. Be scared of me. Because then their talent and skill difference is going to be obvious. If I were to play Magnus Carlsen, of course, even if I played perfectly and aggressively, he's going to crush me. But what I would do is, I'm learning a lot at chess camp. I've learned a lot at chess.com, is I'm sacrificing my pieces. I'm doing a lot of crazy shit if I play Magnus or one of his peers. You don't know what the fuck's coming. Really. There will be some strategy. But my tactics are going to be the most crazy shit. And I'm either going to lose in 10 moves, or I'm going to put up the craziest fight for an underdog story of all time in chess history. Because I'm fucked either way. They're better than me. Walmart's better than me. Doug McMillan's better than me. He's more experienced than me. That's why when I get a position that I would consider a dream position to make a statement for what I feel is right, my own morals, mental health, suicide prevention, our soldiers coming back with PTSD, respecting American workers, all those things that I am passionate about, aside from opportunity and money myself. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what I want. I like money. I like opportunity. I like beautiful women. There's nothing wrong with those things. Just don't lose your fucking soul in the process. But Walmart, I want them to see I am willing to sacrifice my own mother. Not in like, I don't want her to hurt physically, but I want my mom to feel what I felt in some ways. I wouldn't wish the extent of the pain of union busting on anyone, but I want my mom to feel the emotional pain of my son doesn't even want me. My son is more concerned with winning this fight than me, his own mom. And I am. And I want my mom to be useless. Break her down to the point where she can't even go to work. She's so hurt, emotionally scarred, my mom is done, worthless. And then maybe we'll build her back up into something that's not such a pushover. That's what happened to me. But the advantage of having control over my mom, because I'm an adult now, I can make enough money door dashing, I don't have expenses or kids. That's no problem until I get an opportunity to act, music, etc. But I was pushed way past the point where you're supposed to push a human being who is not trained to be interrogated. And forced to choose between my morals, my respect for our soldiers, and money, opportunity. Kissing the asses of Deloitte consultants who were handed Walmart badges. Living comfortable lives while our soldiers come back. That's so fucked up. That's such a contradiction that I had to try to balance and not lose my sanity. And a point I'd like to close with, because there was a lot of dark thoughts I mentioned, but that's real shit. That's where I'm at. If I don't talk about them, the risk is it gets way worse. A good takeaway from my scenario, like most who provide ideas or inventions that help people, I'm not a happy person. I've never been happy. I'd say that's a lot of just brain chemistry. I wouldn't say I'm unfulfilled or don't want to be alive. Just chemically in my brain, like my brain is not conducive to living a happy, comfortable life, which comfort is a double-edged sword. But you can think, oh, Dayton's a monster. Dayton doesn't love his mom. Think whatever you want. Judge me. My mental health is so bad. I need to be locked in a straitjacket. That's your call. You judge me. Make assumptions if that's the type of person you are. But something constructive is, in order to get change or do the right thing or be a good person in this future where everything's virtual. We're going to live in the fucking metaverse soon. Yeah. We're going to live in a virtual world. Won't be able to touch people, won't be able to shake hands or meet people, even people we don't like. Like in chess, what if we, I mean, I'm not like some fucking chess prodigy or chess ambassador. I just started playing chess a year and a half ago, but I love chess. But what if over-the-board chess goes away forever? If there's another pandemic that's more lethal and contagious than COVID, and it makes it to where everything's online, like there's an element, even of people you don't like or rivals, just getting to look someone in the eye and compete could go away. And the only way to fight back against powerful people who enforce crazy restrictions, politicians who just lie, and you can't call them on it because everything's virtual. There's no way to coordinate an effort to get justice. The only way would be a story or situation like mine, where how much abuse can you take emotionally, and are you willing to take? And then how long are you willing to be alone or very lonely? Basically, how much of your life are you willing to sacrifice for your cause? And it's not like I'm some fucking unselfish hero. The decisions were kind of made for me. I was already in a position where it wasn't good, and I couldn't back out of it. So I figured I might as well do the right thing and take my shot. Like I mentioned, if I were to play a grandmaster, I don't really necessarily want to play a grandmaster in chess. But if I'm thrown into a table and a grandmaster sitting there and they got a gun to my head. They're like, Dayton, you got to play this guy. I'm like, well, fuck. Let's take our shots. That's what I'm doing. But do you want to raise your kids in a world like that, where you got to be basically forced to fight, or crazy enough to fight for your cause and what you feel is right for people? Then you got to get insanely lucky multiple times. I know I have. You got to play a perfect game and get insanely lucky. Then the third thing, which I haven't really had enough of, is the right people, because there are many good people in positions of power. People in politics who have kids with autism, who are big advocates for mental health. And you need to find the right people in positions of power. Get lucky. And be willing to take on a lot of emotional strain and loneliness. And then build a movement. And even then, there's no guarantee that you will get anything done. And you risk being scarred or marked as a target forever that people will stay away from. And that's the future. That's why I'm writing a song right now called, I think I'm going to call it Don't Miss. But the premise of this song is, how do you know who's real? How do you know who's fake? Who to trust in this world? If you're a young girl, how can you trust that guy? What do you know about him? His social media looks clean, but I heard this. How can I validate rumors when everything's just social media? And sometimes you can't even meet the person in real life. How do you know? And that's my conclusion, and that's kind of what that song is. My struggle to find that out about myself, who I am, and then who can I trust? Because girls can be intimidated, and I can certainly see red flags with me. Some I can control, some that I don't feel I can, where they might stay away. But for guys, I mean, human beings are human beings, girls, guys, whatever. I don't want to get hurt or cheated on either. Or waste my life for a pursuit that's not worthy, like a lot of corporate environments. And that's what I conclude in a lot of different stories that happen to me. I conclude the only way to tell if someone's real, if they're trustworthy, if they're genuine. If you're a girl and you date me, how can you really be sure that I'm not going to sleep with you and then cheat on you, or talk to my friends about how good you were in bed but not respect you as a person? You don't know. There's no guarantee I won't do that, or anyone won't do that to you. How do you know if someone really loves chess, or if I'm just using this to manipulate and gain attention and opportunity and fame, or sexual opportunities? You don't really know. If you watch a lot of my videos, I think there'd be enough consistencies where you would realize, I mean, yeah, I'm a human. I like sex. I like opportunity. I like money. But I love mental health, or I'm passionate about mental health. I love chess. Chess came into my life at a good time where it definitely kept me from getting into drugs and alcohol. It gave me something constructive. Otherwise, I might be in prison. So I do love chess for that reason. And I respect chess athletes and top-level players for similar reasons. I realize how hard that had to have been to reach that level. It's insane to not err for so many moves. I mean, 60, 80 moves that's absurd to me. But that song, Don't Miss, that's how you know who's real. It's not who's talented, not even who can perform and has the ability, or who has money, or who talks good, says they love you. It's if you put 10 guys in a line, and I'll use men because it's not that I don't think women are equal, or women don't do things better than men, or women are emotionally unstable or weak psychologically. I don't mean women are lesser at all. I mean women are, on average, less capable of protecting themselves physically, just by stature, things out of their control. Men are bigger and more capable of winning a fight on average, so that makes the stigma that men should be tough more prevalent in society. So I'll use 10 men in a line to explain the reason for my song. One, we'll say, is a millionaire, multimillionaire. Another is a big churchgoer, philanthropist, missionary. The third is an alcoholic. The fourth is an ex-convict trying to get his life straight. the fifth is a single dad working as a part-time janitor and then 2 other side jobs because COVID hit him hard financially, but he loves his daughter and wasn't going to give her up and is trying to provide for her, et cetera, et cetera. All those different scenarios. But looking at those guys in the line, you don't know. You don't know who's happy. You don't know who's hurting. You don't know who's willing to screw you over. You don't know who would be there for you if you were hurting. You don't. And the only way I feel after COVID hit in 2020, and I realized we're probably never going to go back to a 2019 or before scenario. This is life now. And it might get a lot worse with virtual, social media, etc. Put a gun to my head and see how I react. That's why I called it Don't Miss. There's a lot of different stories, but unfortunately, and that's one of the things where it's like I didn't create the world. I just don't like that it's like that. But you don't, how can you trust people if you can't see them? How can you know what they're going through and empathize if you don't see people? Even good people are going to lose empathy. It's not possible to maintain empathy in a world where we're in the metaverse, for example. And that's where I also read a lot of books from history about people who have just been fucked over, bad luck, abused, dumped off, etc. In my life, my upbringing was not bad, which is why I remind myself, like, Beth Harmon in The Queen's Gambit, for example, that story, like, no one fucking dropped me off or didn't want me when I was young. So that's where I realized, like, as dark as a place that I'm in, I really don't have a reason to complain. That's why I still get up and do shit and play chess and study chess and network. But that's a sad future, and I don't know how we fix it. And what would humanity be willing to sacrifice to get it back or get something better than the future where you don't know who to trust, you don't know who's real, you don't know anyone's motives, and the only way to find out is on their deathbed, or in that example, Don't Miss, gun to my head. Just kill me. Or don't. But look me in the eyes while you do it, if you do. That's real. It takes a lot of pain to get there, but that's the type of person where, that's a dark mindset. It's very scary to hear someone speak like that, but think about the opposite, which is politicians, Joe Biden, Doug McMillon. They don't stand for anything. And it's not like I'm saying, don't miss, just go fucking kill me because I can't cope with life, and Walmart was mean to me and my family didn't believe me, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not like I'm just wanting to die. I love my dog. I have a lot of good things going for me, and I think the world is not all bad at all. But the point is, if I have to choose between my soul, all the money in the world, like Joe Biden and Doug McMillon and those types of people have sold their souls for. They stood for things at one point probably, and then slowly they said, I'll take this instead, and I'll take this instead. And just don't hurt me. Make sure I'm comfortable and taken care of. And it doesn't matter who I hurt, or what I have to do, or what story I have to make up about someone else, or who I have to ruin in business. Just make sure I'm better. Make sure my position is better. That's what I love about chess and the people who play it. You can't just cheat it. If you want a good position, earn it. Sacrifice, take risks, use your time better, and get a winning position. Whereas in business, there's no objectivity. It's, did you kiss the right ass, and did you kiss that ass at the right time? Basically, did you measure and accurately guess whose ass you should kiss? Who is of influence or who's going to have influence? And then you kiss that ass and you get opportunities. That's what Doug McMillon and people like that do. But if you hold a gun to someone like Joe Biden's head and say, hey, Joe, what do you really think? What do you stand for? Joe, I'm going to let you go. But you have to promise to never stand up for anything but what I tell you. Joe would do whatever the fuck that guy with a gun told Joe Biden to do, because Joe has no balls. And if you put a gun to my head and I can't escape it, I'm gonna fucking run if I have a chance to get out of it. But that's what that song Don't Miss is fucking pull the trigger but look me in my eyes while you pull the trigger. Because I ain't doing this shit. I mean, too many people are so afraid to listen to anything outside of their own ideas. Few people are logical. If they do have a heart and want to change things, they'll go riot against the police or fight the police. I'm like, the fucking police are just people, man. Like, don't do that. You gotta have some intelligence about it. And if that's the alternative, and I can't live in a world where, just because I'm a white male does not mean that I'm 6'2". A white male is 6'2". That doesn't mean I'm a monster. That doesn't mean I'm a monster. That doesn't mean I should have to bow down to an evil woman boss, which is my previous boss. That doesn't mean I should have to bow down to foreign workers. It doesn't mean I'm better than them either. It just means if you want opportunities over me, let's fight for it. Fight by the rules, with respect for one another, and I'll shake your hand if you beat me. But you're not going to just cheat, and that's where the world is there are too many opportunities to cheat with technology. So let's consider not only mental health, but if people just back down and live in their comfort zones and say, "Oh, this is okay." Yeah, in America it's okay, but believe it or not, it's a big fucking world, and there's a lot of worse shit that's happening in other countries, and it's gonna get here. It's not like if you just let shit go in the world that it's not eventually going to snowball and reach us. You got to take action now or every day for the life you want and the world that you think is right. And few people are doing that. So that's why. Whatever. Because I don't want to have to be fake or lie. I'd rather just be shot in the fucking head. Really. Don't want to suffer. Just drop me. That's what I'm feeling. You're surprised after this video? I've said it before, it's a real YouTube channel. If you don't like it, go watch someone else's. Ideally, other chess enthusiasts. Because if you don't like my ideas, at least you should go support chess in general. Bye.